it across central Oregon and through the central Oregon Cascades. Back to the freeway drive, not a lot going on this morning. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit busier, but so far no major issues. Westbound I-84 tightening up a little bit through the Hollywood district. This is right about inside of 28th Avenue. So the Max tracks are over there on the right-hand side of your screen. And there, that westbound drive is kind of puttering along at about 20 miles an hour or so. The trip through North Portland I-5 up near Lombard, not looking all that bad. And our drive times, again, still in reasonably good shape. In fact, we can get in from Wilsonville now in less than 20 minutes. China, for this hour of a Friday morning, that's pretty good.
Thank you, Chris.
And so it's a gift to know that we were able to donate his organs to help other people.
Getting new life from the people who lost theirs. Still to come on Sunrise, a look at how the Hillsborough Hops honored organ donors and their families. Stay with us.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
In this morning's Pacific Storyland, we're headed to see the Hillsborough Hops for a game that was anything but ordinary. People had a chance to share how they were given new life through organ donations, as well as remember those who chose to give. Catherine Cook has the details.
Every little kid loves baseball. That includes Brian Cofield.
He was into baseball major. He loved baseball.
Which is why his mom, Leslie, was so tickled to throw out the first pitch at Thursday's Hillsborough Hops game.
Whoa!
Yay! This was all for Brian. 32 years ago, he passed away after an accident. He was just 7.
When I heard my son's name, it was just like, oh, that was everything.
Leslie asked doctors if Brian could donate some of his organs, and they said yes. His corneas and heart valves.
2 people had their sight restored from his corneas.
Knowing that fueled Leslie to spend the next 30 years volunteering for Vision Gift, the eye bank for Oregon and Southwest Washington. Karina Patzer is grateful for her partnership.
I think we hear a lot of stories about recipients, and you don't see as much how it impacts donor families. And I think Leslie is a perfect example of that and how much it's meant to her.
On this night, many others gathered to watch a game and honor the donors who gave them the gift of life, like Jeannie Leeson. She received a liver transplant 2 years ago.
How many people go on the transplant list every day, and how many people die every day for not getting a transplant? It's very humbling to me. It makes me cry to think that I got this amazing gift.
Kristen Bird knows about gifts.
And so it's a gift to know that we were able to donate his organs to help other people.
Her son Jaden died 2 years ago in a car crash. He had just turned 18 and chose to be a donor.
It fulfills my heart knowing that his heart's out there still beating to help somebody else.
Deciding to be an organ donor is one thing, but advocates say a key part of that is telling loved ones about your decision so they can be prepared for their part.
And at the time of a loss, we have to talk to a family, and if they haven't had that conversation, it's more difficult.
Nothing about loss is ever easy, even in moments like this, when the shadows grow long on a baseball field and life, for just a moment, seems simple. But Leslie knows somewhere, two people are watching it all through her son's eyes. In Hillsborough, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
All right, we have another health-related story for you here. The National Institute of Health is giving OHSU $8 million for a study focused on finding a cure for HIV. Staff at OHSU's Primate Research Center and Vaccine and Gene Therapy Institute are going to study 3 people who were cured of HIV. In fact, they're 3 of only 10 people who have ever been cured of the virus. These 3 people also had cancer. They went through a stem cell transplant, and that cured them of both their cancer and HIV.
If we're successful with this work, we will be able to, 1, identify how stem cell transplant cures HIV, and then use that knowledge to define new curative treatments that we can then expand outward and cure a larger number of individuals.
So first comes studying these patients, and then after that, the lab hopes to start clinical trials on the potential cure in 5 years.
Coming up at 8, a deadly crash in Northeast Portland that shut down Columbia Boulevard. We have the latest live from the scene.
Plus, we're also live in Salem in our next hour. That's where ODOT workers are set to rally outside the state capitol. We're going to have more for you on this coming up in just a few minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:59 on your Friday morning drive, and we start with a traffic alert in Northeast Portland. A reminder that Northeast Columbia Boulevard remains shut down for an ongoing fatal crash investigation just east of MLK. Your traffic solution to get around this, Northeast Lombard for now. Back to our freeway drive. I-84 a little busy, but moving along okay for this hour of a Friday morning drive. We're really not looking at any major issues out there on the freeways. A quick check of the drive times right now kind of reflects that. 20 minutes right now, your inbound commute from Hillsborough to downtown. Rod?
All right, Chris, thank you, sir. We basically have overcast skies from downtown Portland to the north. You drop to the south and it gets sunnier and sunnier. Beautiful morning for you folks in Salem. Early morning number now 56 degrees. Here are the clouds over the Rose City. We're at 64. Sun is coming. I have us bright and mid-70s at noon, and then like yesterday, back up into the upper 80s, nearing 90 degrees. The weekend should be a little more comfortable. 83 tomorrow, 84 on Sunday, 86 on Labor Day Monday.
Right
Right now on KGW Plus, a fatal crash in Northeast Portland shuts down Columbia Boulevard. What we're learning about the crash and the latest on traffic impacts. Plus.
And ODOT workers are here outside the state capitol in Salem as a transportation special session gets underway. We'll tell you what they're looking for.
Then the man who stole a Homeland Security vehicle and led police on a wild chase last year faces the consequences. How long he'll spend behind bars.
And later, temperatures in the city today expected to be in the high 80s, maybe 90 degrees. By no means extreme heat, but hot enough for Portland Public Schools to send kids home early this afternoon. More on that decision along with Rod Hill's full weekend holiday forecast coming up on the 8 o'clock hour of sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live on your Friday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We also have Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill right there on that side of your screen. Rod, we start with you. We talked about temperatures today not being extremely hot, but we are talking about temperatures that could hit 90.
Yeah, you know, and if you don't have AC, I'm sure you've noticed this. There really hasn't been a breath of wind to speak of for the most part in like a week. And overnight lows have been typically in the 60s and well into the 60s more than not. So it has been tough to get the air out of that last heat wave. Remember that heat wave kicked off a week ago. Last Friday was 102. Well, today we should generally stay under 90 degrees, and it is a beautiful morning down in Salem. 56 degrees. Your expected high today, 86 or 87 degrees. Portland is overcast, and it's cloudy up through Vancouver, Kelso, and Longview, but sun is expected. We're at 64 right now. So mostly sunny, 75 degrees at noon, and there's that warm to hot afternoon getting up to about 88 degrees. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. A live look at the roads. We'll start off over on the Banfield. Interstate 84, traffic, again, looking okay for this hour of a Friday morning commute. We could certainly do worse. Right now, we're zipping along at about, 15 miles an hour or so on that side of town. Door number 4 takes us down to Wilsonville. That looks great. And door number 3, I think it's going to take us up to the drive through North Portland. Again, that too in pretty good shape. So from that perspective, the freeway drive is in pretty good shape this morning. 19 minutes right now, you're inbound Sunset from Hillsborough to downtown. I do want to remind folks this weekend, both the Ducks and the Beavers are home on Saturday. Ducks kicking off at 1 p.m., the Beavers at 7:30. So that means traffic on I-5 tomorrow during the day is likely to be extra busy. So it's just the early heads up on that. Drew, China?
Thank you, Chris. Now to breaking news we're following this morning. A person was hit and killed in Northeast Portland.
It happened over on Columbia Boulevard right around 4:45 this morning. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is there right now. So Corey, what can you tell us?
Well, Drew, China, the medical examiner just arrived a few minutes ago to what's still a very active scene this morning. Northeast Columbia Boulevard has been closed in both directions for the last couple hours. This after police got a call about a person being hit by a car around 4:45 this morning. We've talked to several people this morning near the scene in the 500 block of Northeast Columbia, some wanting to get to work and others who live nearby coming to see what happened. Now, I'm told by multiple people this is a popular stretch of roadway that's very busy at all hours of the day with vehicles. Others tell me they frequently see people jaywalking. Now, one man says he's lived in this area for 25 years and used to work at the gas station that sits near the intersection that's near this accident. Now, he says he's seen several crashes over the years, and he says more needs to be done.
We need to upgrade the whole Portland, really. We back 20 years. We behind, so we should step up to the plate.
And Northeast Columbia Boulevard is closed in both directions between Northeast MLK and Northeast 11th Avenue, and those closures are expected to remain in place over the next several hours. As we learn more details, we will continue, of course, to keep you updated. Drew, China.
Corey, thank you. Our other top story this morning, Oregon lawmakers are back in Salem this morning for a special session as they try to pass a transportation package.
ODOT workers are also gathered there outside the Capitol building this morning to rally in support of a new funding deal. We have Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz covering this story for us. He's live in Salem. So Thomas, when did those workers start showing up there exactly?
Yeah, well, Drew, they just got here the past few minutes right behind us. You can hear them. They've got the megaphone. That's the SEIU president talking to those ODOT workers. He just told them a minute ago, your jobs matter. That's the big sentiment here today in Salem as the special session gets underway. This is a day that workers have been waiting for months. Inside the Capitol, both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, have come armed with new proposals. Republicans are expected to announce a proposal to save jobs where taxes would not be raised. Instead, Republicans argue a change to state law would allow ODOT to tap into existing funds. Law currently restricts ODOT from reallocating funds from different pots of money.
We're legislators. We can actually change law. It's this magical thing we do. That's literally our job, is to change laws.
Now, it's unlikely the Republican proposal makes much headway due to Democrats' supermajority in the state Senate. Democrats have a proposal of their own. It's a slimmed-down version of the transportation package they proposed during the regular session. This new package proposed by Governor Tina Kotek is worth $5.8 billion to fund road maintenance and transit agencies. It would also increase the gas tax by 6 cents, registration fees by $42, and title fees by $139.
What I can say to every Oregonian, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, what we're going to do is make sure that your roads, your bridges are safe and maintained no matter what time of the year it is, and that's why that package has to pass.
And back out here live right outside the state capitol, you can see the signs, you hear the cheers from these SEIU members, these ODOT workers, as they once again push for this special session to lead to more funding for transportation agencies all across the state. Drew, China.
Thomas Schultz reporting live for us in Salem this morning. Thank you, Thomas. And KGW will be streaming the Republican lawmakers' announcement later this morning at 10 o'clock on our TV app, KGW Plus. You can download it anytime for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
Oregon Secretary of State Tobias Reed says the federal government is overstepping its bounds by demanding information about Oregon voters. 2 months ago, the U.S. Justice Department filed an official statement of interest into Oregon's voting system. They wanted to know what the Secretary of State's office is doing to keep ineligible voters from voting. More recently, the Justice Department asked for access to Oregon voter information again, but Secretary Reed rejected that request. In the latest episode of KGW Straight Talk, Stephanie Domerat asked the Secretary of State why he made that decision.
The federal government is exceeding their authority in this regard. They are entitled to public records like anyone else, and if they want to fill out the form and pay the fee, we'll provide them that public record. But it does not include social security numbers, dates of birth, signatures, driver's license information.
You can watch the latest episode of Straight Talk, by the way, this weekend on KGW. It airs Saturday and Sunday night at 6:30 and again Monday night at 7 o'clock. It's also available anytime on our free TV app, KGW Plus.
A man has been sentenced to nearly 22 years in prison for stealing a Homeland Security vehicle and leading police on a chase last June. This happened in Washington. Travis Greigla was behind the wheel of the black SUV that you see in this dash cam video. The chase ended when the SUV flipped onto its roof. Greigla stole the vehicle earlier in the day as federal agents were serving a search warrant at his home for child pornography. Court documents say that he was put in the passenger seat, but locked the doors before jumping in the driver's seat and taking off.
One person died in a crash that shut down part of Southeast Kane Drive in Gresham last night. So this is video of that scene, and you can see basically the shells of 2 cars that police say caught fire after the crash. They haven't said yet what caused it. Sheriff's deputies arrested a man in Washougal for allegedly threatening a road paving crew with an AR-style rifle. Investigators say he was wearing a camouflage vest along with a tactical vest, and they say he told the crew to leave the area that they were working in. So that led to a SWAT standoff yesterday afternoon on Southeast 352nd in Washougal. After about 4 hours, deputies say they arrested 37-year-old Justin Bryden, who now faces assault charges. They also told us that no one was hurt.
The man accused of stabbing 2 people and getting into a standoff with police that locked down a Northwest Portland neighborhood earlier this week has pleaded not guilty to assault charges. Victor Palmer-Regan will stay behind bars. Both victims are expected to survive. Palmer-Regan's partner told us that he was having a mental health crisis.
All right, one of our big headlines this morning that leads us right into Rod's forecast is this: Portland Public Schools sending students home 2 hours early today because of the weather forecast. The district says some classrooms reached unsafe temperatures yesterday afternoon, and some students and staff suffered heat-related illnesses. So here's the plan. After they let kids out early today, They plan to spend this weekend installing more fans and cooling units in Portland schools and also adjusting the ventilation where possible. One more note, Albina Head Start and early childhood centers are also closing early today at 2 o'clock because of the forecast.
And Rod has some things to say about this.
Well, maybe it's not so much today's forecast we should point out. It's that we're getting back up into the mid-90s next week. Now, yesterday it was upper 80s to 90 in the Portland area. Today will be, I think there's a least chance of hitting 90 today. I'm splitting hairs. We're going to be 87, 88, maybe 89. But from what we know, it just seems like those buildings were never cooled from the heat wave that started a week ago. A week ago, remember, it was 102. And then we're up into the 90s still more than not the first half of this week. And there hasn't been a breath of wind. And a lot of the overnight lows have been not below 65. And there's not going to be a breath of wind out there again today either. So it seems like the mission as far as we're, getting what they're telling us is that these buildings without AC simply need to be ventilated and get the hot air that's in place out of them, especially with next week's forecast back up into the mid-90s. Okay, Timberline Lodge, beautiful, 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 62 degrees up there. So yeah, if it's 62 at Timberline, you know the overall batch of air, the air mass we call it, is still quite warm. It's going to be 90 degrees in Hood River today. Good morning to you folks. You're waking up kind of partly to even mostly sunny skies, and even in the gorge, barely a breath of wind, expecting it to be really calm. It is overcast in Portland. Here's our Oregon Zoo live camera. If you're going to the zoo this morning, comfortable. Temperatures will still be in the 70s at noon, but then later this afternoon, mid to upper 80s expected up in the West Hills. Temperatures outside currently in downtown Portland, we're at 64 with overcast skies. 61 up in Battleground. It's cloudy all the way up into southwest Washington, but by the time you get down toward Wilsonville and Sherwood, you start to see the clouds breaking. Even Oregon City is partly cloudy right now. Salem and Kaiser each reporting clear skies, 56 degrees, again, light winds. This afternoon, the only rain chance at all is maybe a spotty storm out east, but most of you will stay dry. Inland temperatures mainly holding in the 80s up and down I-5. So Portland all dry through Labor Day. 88 today, the hottest of the bunch. 83 tomorrow, 84 Sunday, 86 on Labor Day Monday. And there's the return to hot weather I was mentioning. 95 on Wednesday, 96 on Thursday. Chris?
Rod, thank you for that. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. I want to pick it up on the west side. 217 southbound getting a little slow. No crashes reported, but getting south of Shoals Ferry. We've got a little area of some thick traffic right now. Not bad. We'll keep it over on the Sunset, Highway 26. This is out near the zoo. So traffic coming down the hill from the zoo into the Visitors Tunnel, puttering along a little bit there as well. And as we switch gears and show you the drive times, nothing way out of whack this morning. In fact, the drive-in from Wilsonville is zipping right along after some earlier trouble in Tualatin. That's long gone. 17 minutes gets you in from Wilsonville Road. 20 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough. We do have one traffic alert in Northeast Portland. We've been talking about this throughout the morning. Northeast Columbia Boulevard remains closed right now, both directions, just east of MLK for an ongoing fatal crash investigation. Guys, the detour around that or your traffic solution, Northeast Lombard. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. We've got this story coming up on Sunrise. President Trump revoking Secret Service protection for a former vice president, even though their protection had been extended. Again, we'll have that for you coming up here on Sunrise.
The White House tapping a replacement to head up the CDC in an escalating showdown over the nation's public health establishment. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, we'll have the very latest on some high-profile firings and resignations.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
All right, this year's KGW School Supply Drive in the books, and I can tell you this morning, it was a good one. We aim to collect enough supplies to help 15,000 students go back to school with the tools they need. But thanks to your donations, we're actually able to serve more than 25,000 local kids this year. So yesterday, this was the scene. In the KGW lobby, all those community partners on board to help us sort and pack all those viewer donations.
This year we collected $148,000 in 2 weeks. Super excited to say that's a little more than last year even, so we're really thrilled and we have such generous customers.
All right, we are back out live here in the studio. Rob, we're waiting for you to take this camera shot.
Do I understand this correctly, Drew Carney? That's the Safeway spokesperson saying at the register, when they get asked if they want to round up, that was $148,000 just from that.
So I don't know how many years ago, yes. I don't know how many years ago Safeway got on board with this. I want to say it's 5. And the year that they got on board with that pin pad donation opportunity, you know, our donations went through the roof because it is an easy way. Sure. And a lot of people maybe just give $1 or $2 at the pin pad, but man, that adds up. Safeway has a lot of customers, by the way.
Yeah, that was
so yeah, we had this goal. I mean, we thought it was a pretty difficult task to help 15,000 students, but with those donations, it jumped up really quick. And again, we're helping 25,000 plus this year with their school supplies.
For the record, I think it was week before last, I got some fried chicken in Safeway and I rounded up. So fried chicken makes it all possible is the moral of my story.
There is some pressure when I'm in the line and that pops up on the screen. I'm like, well, geez, if I don't give, who is it? Who's going to give? So I feel like I have to since I'm a part of the equation.
Yes. All right, that was a good news story, obviously. Let's go to a bad news story. What the heck, right? Labor Day weekend. Places like Sun River, you would assume, probably packed, right? Lots of people enjoying beautiful Central Oregon. And unfortunately, it's kind of the mecca of the worst air quality in our state. Here's Deschutes County this morning from Oregon DEQ, and the orange and the red dots. That's unhealthy air quality. It's mostly good green air quality, if you will, over the Willamette Valley, then yellow, moderate across other portions of eastern Oregon. Now, what we're looking at is 2 fires for the most part contributing to almost all of the smoke that's problematic. So this big plume, this was yesterday afternoon on visible satellite imagery. You're looking at right here, that is all wildfire smoke. That's coming from the Emigrant Fire, which is burning in the corner of Lane County. But this is a fire that's burning basically in the timber of the Cascades. Makes sense? Getting a lot more smoke. Now, right here, not as impressive, but see the little dot? That is actually the center of the flat fire burning on the corner of Deschutes and Jefferson counties, and that's contributing smoke as well. And here's all this being picked up on our smoke modeling for today. This is 11 o'clock this morning. Again, here's Eugene. There's the corner of Lane County. So that's that Immigrant Fire, and then it picks up right about here, picks up that flat fire. And look at all this smoke that in red is very noticeable to maybe thick enough wildfire smoke potentially that a sunny day is gray because of it. And that's Pendleton and that's Baker City. And then as we go through the day, this starts to push a little bit farther north up into parts of Washington. So just be aware. If you're leaving today, I hope you have a great time and you're going over into Central Oregon. I would make the assumption that air quality is going to be an issue. All right, what else are we doing? We're all dry this morning. We have cloudiness at the coast and in Portland, but outside of that, south of Portland, it's sunny, including Salem. It is overcast up and toward Seattle. This low out to sea is looking weaker today than it was yesterday. No rain chance for us from that. We'll get some cloudiness and in part because of that, some cooler weather starting tomorrow. Salem, beautiful clear sky start. There are the clouds over downtown Portland. Let me show you current temperatures and I'll get you to your 7-day. Salem 56, good morning to you. Portland 64, 50s at the coast. Here come the 7-day numbers. So we become mostly sunny, back up into the upper 80s today. A warm to hot afternoon, obviously 88. Noticeably not as bad tomorrow. 83, partly sunny, brighter 84 Sunday, and an 86-degree Monday showing up on the 7-day. 90s next week. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. You mentioned that wildfire smoke. Here's a snapshot, by the way, from over near Century Drive. So west of Bend, heading up towards Mount Bachelor, that's not cloud cover. That is all wildfire smoke. So kind of some ground truth of the smoke modeling that Rod was showing you there. Let's get you back to the metro area right now. Traffic really not all that bad. We've got a couple of slow spots out there. 217 southbound, puttering along a little bit between Shoals Ferry 99W, and for this hour of a Friday morning commute, if that's all we're talking about, we're doing all right. Inbound on the Sunset, riding the brake a little bit coming down the hill from the zoo. Quick check your drive times right now. Again, we're looking pretty good. While it's quiet out there now, the afternoon commute's likely to be a little rough, of course, as everyone gets away for the weekend. And a reminder, I-5 through the Willamette Valley. Both the Ducks and the Beavers are home this weekend. The Ducks kick off at 1, the Beavers 7:30. So Corvallis to Eugene on I-5, and points even away from there are likely to be quite busy. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back to Sunrise. The White House fired CDC Director Susan Monterez this week after she refused to resign. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says Monterez didn't fall in line with the president's directive to, quote, make America healthier again.
But despite being fired, Monterez is refusing to go. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the latest from Washington, D.C.
A hero's send-off from colleagues and supporters for 4 top CDC officials resigning in protest over health policy decisions under the Trump administration.
Let's get the politics out of public health.
The officials, leading experts in public health, infectious diseases, and vaccines, leaving their posts after CDC Director Dr. Susan Monterez was fired less than a month after President Trump appointed her. The White House picking Jim O'Neill as acting CDC Director. He's the top deputy to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who argues the CDC made mistakes during the pandemic.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture.
Lawyers for Dr. Monterez say she was fired after she, quote, refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts. The colleagues following her out the door worry her replacement will clear a path for Secretary Kennedy, a longtime vaccine skeptic, to ramp up efforts to overhaul federal vaccine policy.
America's public health is significantly in danger. And Dimitri, Dan, and I chose to leave together to send that bat signal.
The experts warning of vaccine misinformation, they say, played a role in the largest number of measles cases in 30 years and the undermining of long-held scientific findings.
All of those past findings were being called into question.
As the White House defends the leadership shakeup, they say to align with the president's Make America Healthy Again agenda. In a separate case, Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook headed to court this morning for a hearing on the lawsuit she filed challenging President Trump's authority to fire her over his administration's allegation she lied on a mortgage application to get better loan terms. She has not been charged with a crime and denies wrongdoing. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush. Federal officials say they stopped a potential school shooting in Washington, D.C. on the same day the Minneapolis school shooting occurred. Police arrested a teenager Wednesday after they allegedly threatened a public school on social media. Investigators found multiple firearms at their home. President Trump has revoked U.S. Secret Service protection for former Vice President Kamala Harris. Vice presidents typically only get 6 months of protection when they leave office, but former President Joe Biden had signed an executive memorandum in January extending her protection to 18 months because of her run for president. And the Food and Drug Administration has issued a recall for California-based company Country Eggs. Its large brown cage-free sunshine yolks and omega-3 golden yolks eggs are being recalled due to a salmonella threat. At least 95 people in 14 states, including Washington, have gotten sick after eating the eggs. At least 18 of those people have been hospitalized. And that's a look at your morning rush.
The 8:30 half-hour sunrise is just a few minutes away as we take this live look from our Timberline Sky Cam. Rod Hill with your full Labor Day weekend forecast after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. ODOT workers are rallying outside the state capitol this morning, pressuring lawmakers to reach a deal and save their jobs. So here's a live look right now. Inside, Democrats and Republicans are split on how to fund a transportation package. Governor Kotek is backing a multi-billion-dollar plan with new taxes and fees, while Republicans want to tap existing funds. The special session could decide whether hundreds of ODOT jobs are cut. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
And that rally taking place under mainly a clear sky. There's our live Salem sky camera this morning. Comfortable start for you folks down into the mid-50s. Portland, downtown, and north. Cloudy, but sunshine is expected because the clouds were quite a bit warmer, 64. I think we'll be bright at noon, 75. And then like yesterday, temperatures in the upper 80s, perhaps nearing 90 degrees. The weekend looks dry through Monday. Some cloudiness and a cooler 83 on Saturday. Sunday brightens up 84. Labor Day Monday right now, mostly sunny skies and 86. We are tracking 90-degree heat next week.
8:30 half hour on our Sunrise Friday, ladies and gentlemen. What are we doing here? Well, we're kicking off this half hour by talking about National College Colors Day. We're celebrating the colors of your favorite universities, the ones you guys went to. So a viewer named Garrett sent us this photo from his graduation day at the University of Washington.
Purple.
A proud Husky he is. All right, next up, who do we got? We've got a viewer named Lori. Probably didn't like that Washington picture because she's all about the Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Lori is a U of O class of 91 alum. Congratulations to the Ducks on what we expect to be a big win tomorrow. I'm giving them the early congratulations. And then we've got this team of crack producers in the KGW newsroom. Do you want to read them off by name there, Miss China?
We have Eileen, University of Oregon, holding up the O. We have Alex, went to Penn State. And then Michaela, Texas A&M University. She is all dressed up. You can't see her shoes.
She's got the Texas A&M 12th man banner.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Her shoes even match. And then we have Michael, our current producer right now with the headset on. He went to USC.
There you go. Lots of colleges represented in the KGW newsroom. Are we going to do this? Are we going to talk about high school football tonight? We've got the season premiere of Friday Night Football. There we go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Better mention this. Orlando Sanchez would be upset if we didn't. Orlando, Art Edwards, our crack team of photographers covering all the high school football action around the state tonight. You can tune in during KGW News at 11 p.m. And this is just not about tonight for the season openers, gang. This is happening all throughout the season until the end of November. All right. Here we go. Now I know that Brian Matthews, our director, is wondering where are we going. Sorry, Brian, if I screwed up the order of business here. Rod, are you already doing the weather?
Oh, but we're missing Chris shaking his Penn State flag. Penn State alum, Chris McGann. Come over here and shake your flag, Chris.
What is that thing you guys say?
Chris is a nice guy.
We are.
Weird.
Penn State?
Penn
That way?
State.
All right. There's your 5 seconds of fame, buddy. All right. Clear skies over Salem this morning, 56 degrees. By the way, high school football probably kicking off still in the 80s across much of the area this evening. Now, Portland northward, it's cloudy, but sun is coming. There's 64 degrees, 75 at noon. We get up to 88, so that would still leave us in the 80s for kickoff time. And then eventually overnight tonight, we'll get back down into the 60s for the Rose City. The only chance of any rain today is a spotty thunderstorm chance out east. In fact, the model updates aren't even showing this, but it's a potential. So mainly dry weather. Clouds at the coast may struggle to clear today. They didn't clear. I don't know if anybody saw the sun at the coast yesterday. When I looked at 4 o'clock, all the cameras I looked at were still overcast. 80s up and down I-5 to perhaps a few spots hitting 90. We've got Portland as warm as 88. It doesn't look like we would be warmer than that. So 88, some cloudiness tomorrow, but dry, 83. You'll notice the comfort, a reduction in temperature, 84 Sunday, 86 on Labor Day Monday. And it does appear that we have a run of 90-degree days, in fact, maybe well up into the 90s returning for us Wednesday and Thursday of next week. But for now, we'll look forward to some cooler weather starting really tomorrow, Chris.
So much for the start of meteorological fall, right? September. Okay, actual fall, of course, starts in the 3rd week of September. Let's get you out the door. Quick look at the drive on the Sunset, riding the brake a little bit, coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel, but nothing out of the ordinary there, right? We're little bunched up on the Banfield. This is 84 westbound out near the Hollywood district. So coming in from 33rd to I-5, that's probably the slowest stretch of that 5-mile freeway right now. Otherwise, really, we're in pretty good shape out there. There's I-5 through Wilsonville, just flying in right now from Wilsonville Road. That drive coming in at about 17 minutes. So your freeway drive into town is in pretty good shape, guys.
Thank you, Chris. Now to breaking news that we have been following all this morning. A person was hit and killed in northeast Portland.
So this happened over on Northeast Columbia right around 4:45 this morning. Corey Johnson live on the scene all morning for us. Corey, what do you have?
That's right, Jude. China, the medical examiner and other police officials are out here at this time. They just arrived. More of them arrived within the last 30 minutes. And it also looks like police are trying to get a tow truck onto the scene right now. Northeast Columbia Boulevard has been closed in both directions for the last couple of hours. Police got the call that someone had been hit by a car around 4:45 this morning. Now we're in the parking lot that sits at the intersection of Northeast Columbia Boulevard, and Northeast MLK. In the last few hours, we've seen at least a dozen people working to figure out how to get to their place of work because this is a popular stretch of roadway that people use. It is their normal route. Now, Northeast Columbia Boulevard is closed in both directions between MLK and 11th Avenue. Those closures expected to stay in place into the morning, but again, we do have, it looks like a tow truck on the scene right now, and police are ushering them in. Now, one man who's lived in the area for decades tells me he's sad to hear that someone lost their life this morning.
So I done seen this year probably 4 or 5 accidents here, and I also witnessed all the drag racing up under red lights. So I done seen a lot of wrecks right here in this area. So I think we need to look at everything again and take a different step and try to upgrade everything.
Now, police also tell us the driver of that vehicle involved in the fatal wreck is cooperating with authorities. Drew, China.
Corey, thank you. Our other top story here at 8:30. For the past 30 minutes, ODOT workers have been rallying outside the Oregon State Capitol.
We know lawmakers are also in Salem this morning for a special session on transportation funding. Let's get to Thomas Schultz, who's covering this for us. Thomas?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, right behind us, you can see those ODOT workers continuing to rally all morning long, switching between chants like Save ODOT Jobs. Of course, right now, another chant you can hear right behind us. Inside the Capitol, lawmakers are continuing to stream right in past this rally all morning long. In the next half hour, they'll be going over differing proposals. Today, Republican lawmakers are expected to announce a major proposal, which they say will preserve hundreds of transportation jobs without raising taxes. The way they plan to do that, we expect to hear, is by allowing ODOT to tap into existing funding, which is supposed to be allocated for different projects. Take a listen.
So far, the only option that's been put on the table in front of us from the majority party is taxes. And we maintain that you do not have to do that in order to fix this budget crisis.
Now, the thing is, Oregon has a Democrat supermajority in the state Senate, so it's unlikely that bill or that idea goes very far. A Democratic proposal, you can hear the honking now right behind us, support for ODOT. A Democratic transportation bill would give $5.8 billion to fund road maintenance in transit agencies, though it would increase taxes. The gas tax would go up by 6 cents, registration fees by $42, and title fees by almost $140.
What I can say to every Oregonian, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, what we're going to do is make sure that your roads, your bridges are safe and maintained no matter what time of the year it is, and that's why that package has to pass.
And of course, today is the day this all kicks off. You can hear and see ODOT workers behind us all for the past half hour. A lot of energy out here outside the Capitol, and that energy is going to carry over into the Capitol. Senate will convene at 9 o'clock this morning. Guys, coming up at 10 o'clock, we're expecting to hear that Republican proposal. They're going to hold a press conference. We'll have that for you as well on KGW Plus at 10. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there in Salem. Meanwhile, President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, says immigration enforcement is going to increase in several U.S. cities, including here in Portland.
Operations are ramping up across the country, but you can see a ramp up of operations in Chicago, absolutely. You're going to see a ramp up of operations in New York. You're going to see a ramp up of operations continue in LA. And, you know, Portland, Seattle. I mean, all these sanctuary cities that refuse to work with ICE, where we know public safety threats are being released every day into this country, especially those cities, we're going to address that.
The city of Portland and the state of Oregon are sanctuary jurisdictions. We know that, right? And that means laws are in place here that limit just how much local and state authorities have to work with immigration officials. Both Governor Kotek and Mayor Wilson already on the record saying they will continue to stand behind those policies.
Meanwhile, some Portlanders are pressuring local leaders to find a way to close the ICE facility near the South Waterfront.
KGW's Alma McCarty has more on this story for us.
Say it loud and say it clear.
Say it loud and say it clear.
ICE is not welcome here.
Standing outside one building,
Revoke the permit. Revoke the permit.
demonstrators demand the closure of another. the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Field Office in South Portland.
The Department of Homeland Security and ICE agents are using it as a home base to terrorize the neighboring area and also the immigrant community here in Portland.
Cascano with Portland Contra las Deportaciones says as a sanctuary city, leaders here should take action.
ICE's budget is increasing. We know that stuff is just going to get worse and their taxes are just going to increase. The amount they can do will just increase. And you know, if we don't fight back now, then what will happen to us then?
Demonstrations started late May. The first time I noticed it was like, getting scary for me anyways, was on the 14th of June.
Neighbors living across the street like LaShonda Shavers, who've documented incidents between protesters and agents, say the disruptions, the tear gas and smoke should be grounds for inspectors to step in.
I just don't want them to be, operating without no accountability and boundaries and consequences.
If we allow ICE to continue to operate when they have violated their permits, that means that anything becomes permissible moving forward.
City councilors heard public comment on the topic earlier this summer. City administrators then gave a memo to the mayor laying out possible pathways where ICE could hypothetically be found in violation of codes. Anything from land use to noise and nuisance complaints. But even if an investigation found they were in violation, they'd have to be given the chance to correct it.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. One city councilor wrote that while council does have the power to enact new zoning and land use regulations, it may not be possible to apply those retroactively. We reached out to ICE for comment, but we have not heard back.
All right, Chris McGinnis back in the mix here with a look at our traffic. Chris?
We got a rogue camera.
Bring it on over,
Let's
bring it
go.
on over. Hey! Bring it on over, bring it on over, bring it on over.
Right over here. This way. We'll give you a little behind the scenes look here. This is my green screen. Yes. Okay. Now, can we get the actual traffic graphics up behind me? Maybe going once, go. I'm sorry, Brian. We've actually got a pretty light drive out there. There, look at that. Nice, smooth dissolve. We'll take you down to just south of West Lynn, I-205 southbound. Running a little thick near Blankenship Road, but not bad. I-5 through Tualatin. We had some earlier trouble here. Actually, a vehicle fire early this morning before sunup. Car was fully engulfed in flames. There was a backup for about a mile. That cleared quite a while ago. You can see we're zipping right along just fine on that side of town. The Banfield I-84 westbound's a little tight, but again, not too bad out there. The drive times still look pretty good. Westbound I-84 taking you just 20 minutes to get in from Troutdale. Drew, China?
You can expect busy airports and packed roads.
Coming up, why your holiday getaway could cost less than last year, while airports and highways are busier than they've been in more than a decade.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
As this Labor Day weekend kicks off, the nation's airports, roadways, and railways are expected to be jam-packed. NBC's Priya Sridhar brings us the latest.
This morning on the nation's roadways, railways, and airports, the Labor Day rush is in full swing, with more than 17 million people expected to take to the skies for the holiday weekend. At Newark's Liberty International Airport, it was a turbulent start with more air traffic control trouble. Hundreds of delays due to a ground stop caused by communication issues between controllers and pilots.
We've just been having really bad frequency issues and frequency failures.
Travelers forced to wait an average of more than 2.5 hours, capping off the busiest travel season in more than a decade.
You can expect busy airports and packed roads. A lot of people have time off. They're going to want to take advantage of it.
Travel costs are down this year, according to AAA, with round-trip ticket prices, hotel rooms, and rental cars all cheaper than last year. Topping the list of destinations, places like Orlando, New York, and Seattle. Experts say that translates to extra traffic congestion in those cities.
Grill some burgers, do our last-minute hurrah.
With some savvy travelers trying to get away early to maximize time on the sand and minimize time in traffic.
I think this is a good time to start coming down because, it's just going to get worse, I think.
And the weather should be pretty nice for this.
We're driving up to Walla Walla. We leave later this morning. Looking forward to it. Going to get some wine. Going to get some onions. We're going to some concert outdoors tonight. Walla Walla sweet onions. In our region, these are the best flippin' large sweet onions you've ever had. You can eat them like an apple. Seriously.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Did not know.
All right, here's a look at our air quality map. We've been mainly, not that we shouldn't do it all the time, but especially because it's a holiday weekend. Lots of people headed over into the Sun River Bend area, no doubt. And just a reminder, the air quality's been bad over there. It's still unhealthy. We see the orange and red dots in Deschutes County this morning. This is a combo impact from the fire, from the flat fire that's burning north of Bend, but also the immigrant fire that's burning just off to the southwest of Bend. A lot of wildfire smoke in that area. Okay, otherwise, we're dry. No weather-related concerns outside of that. The low that we were toying with, remember we had a rain chance potentially tomorrow night, and Sunday morning. Then we pulled the plug on that yesterday. Well, the low looks even less impressive on imagery today, and the weather modeling seems to be increasing the confidence that we will be dry all weekend, including you folks at the beach. Question at the coast is, when are you going to get the sun? This is Schnookwan's Casino Resort in Lincoln City this morning, all overcast, clearing. I don't know if anybody cleared out yesterday. When I looked, the answer was no. And today, I think it's questionable in terms of if you clear out today either. It's 58 right now. It's beautifully sunny up over Mount Hood and warm, 64 degrees. So again, this batch of air is a warm one. We have overcast skies from downtown Portland to the north, but you drop into the South Portland metro and then down into the valley, and it's sunny. So these clouds should get out of here at some point later this morning. Right now, 64. They're not bringing any precip with them. 61 overcast up in Kelso, but sunny, and 56 in Salem. Smoky in Bend, 66. And then you got mainly a clear sky in 52 out in Baker City. Futurecast shows that we're primarily just dry today and, again, through your Monday. This showed some clearing this afternoon at the coast. This is cloudiness tomorrow morning coming in from that low I showed you on the satellite picture. Notice the green specks, that's rain staying offshore. And if this is exactly correct, we'd wake up to noticeable cloud cover in the morning, then the clouds would thin out somewhat during the day, kind of a mostly cloudy to partly sunny Saturday, and then back overall to mostly sunny skies here in the valley on Sunday and on Labor Day Monday as well. Valley forecast numbers, a warm afternoon. 86 in Salem. Again, not a breath of wind. The gorge winds will be light. The coast winds are light. Light winds up at on Mount Hood as well today. A little bit warmer in Portland and Vancouver. We still think upper 80s could be reached. 88. Cool down tomorrow. You'll notice it only being 83, in part thanks to some cloudiness. 84 on Sunday. Your Labor Day Monday, 86 degrees. And now it is birthday time. All right, starting off with Desi, who is 6 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Also turning 6 today is Maddie. Happy birthday to you. 6 today. Cute picture there. Everett in that story, a big cake. Give me some. 9 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Lila is 9. Happy birthday to you. Nice picture there out in the field. And Savannah in Beaverton, 32 years young. Happy birthday to you on this Friday. And there's Georgia, 37 57 today. Happy birthday. I'm feeling old because nobody else is old today. Just me. Birthdays at KGW.com. We'll celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Oldie but a goodie, Rod. All right, let's get you out the door. Reminder, as Rod was talking about air quality over in the Cascades, he showed you the smoke plume forecast. This is a snapshot from tripcheck.com. This is the Sentry Drive camera, which is up in elevation near Mount Bachelor, but it's indicative of what the air looks like over in Central Oregon right now. Again, a really kind of a smoky sky with the sun coming up. All right, back to the metro area. We've got a fender bender, it looks like, on 217 southbound near Shoals Ferry Road. So the drive a little slow getting around that, but as we keep it on the west side, you can see west side freeways are actually not in too bad a shape. There's a live look at the sunset. This is normal brake tapping coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. And I-84 over near Providence Medical Center, your westbound commute, that too is a little tight as we check out the drive times. Not bad, 20 minutes gets you in from Troutdale west, the I-5 split. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a quick recap of some of this morning's top local stories. Sheriff's deputies arrested a man in Washougal for allegedly threatening a road paving crew with an AR-style rifle. Investigators say he was wearing camouflage and a tactical vest when he told the crew they had to leave the area they were working in. A standoff happened after that over on Southeast 352nd. About 4 hours later, deputies say they arrested 37-year-old Justin Bryden, who now faces assault charges. We've been reporting all morning on this. One person died in a crash that shut down part of Southeast Kane Drive in Gresham last night. This is video from the scene. You can see the shells of two cars that police say caught fire after the crash, but they still haven't said what caused it. And Portland Public Schools making headlines this morning, sending students home 2 hours early today because of the weather forecast. The district says some classrooms reached unsafe temperatures yesterday afternoon and some students and staff suffered heat-related illnesses. The plan this weekend is to install more fans and cooling units in Portland schools and adjust ventilation where possible because the forecast says things will be even hotter next week.
Yeah, you know, today within a degree or two, we're going to be back to where we were yesterday. Yesterday around Portland, it was anywhere from 88 to 90. We've got 88 today, but the problem may be locked up heat, if you will, from the heat wave we had last week into the first part of this week. There's never been a good breeze to blow that out. Anyway, a little bit cooler tomorrow, 83. Labor Day Monday, jump to it, 86. Overall, your holiday weekend is looking dry and pretty nice.
And the freeway drive has been kind to us this morning. So far, as we look at a couple of different vantage points, no major issues out there right now. Your drive times are pretty much in check. 18 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough, 20 minutes from Troutdale. It's just a reminder that we've got football games this weekend in Corvallis and Eugene, and so traffic on I-5 is likely to be pretty heavy getting down through those areas all day, or well, much of the day tomorrow.
All right, now to my favorite story of the day, because you need to prepare for a blast from the past. Taco Bell just announced its new Y2K menu. So starting on September 9th, customers can get 5 classic menu items, including the double-decker taco, the Cool Ranch Doritos Locos taco, the chili cheese burrito, and the caramel apple empanada.
How long back was this? Like 10 years ago? 5 years
The
ago?
Y2K menu. So I think it was right
that?
around the turn of the century.
I lose track of when this stuff.
Y2K was the year 2000.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that. Because me, classic is like, longer ago than that, but whatever.
Well, we're talking. I mean, it is kind of. You know what I was thinking about the other day?
30 years ago?
What was this?
Yes.
I mean, it is almost 30 years ago. There was a home run record that was tied last night. 4 home runs in a game. By a guy on the Philadelphia Phillies. The last time someone on the Phillies did it was 49 years ago, and I thought, man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
The time in between 1939 and 1976, that's actually a shorter amount of time between 1976 and the present. Are you following me here?
No, I
don't think you realize how long years go by, Rod.
Yes, they go by quickly.
25 years ago is now considered classic.
I thought you were going to say that Philadelphia baseball player likes Taco Bell.
No, I don't know what I was thinking about there, to be honest.
Greg Lazinski by chance?
You want to wrap up the show, China?
Just a reminder for you, you can watch Sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for watching.